Hey, welcome back everyone. Now that the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series is a thing of the past, a lot of Star Wars fans are focusing on the future with Star Wars Andor, The Bad Batch Season 2, Tales of the Jedi, Mandalorian 3 and 4, as well as a lot of other shows like the Ahsoka series on the horizon. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, for the longest time, we have seen Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy handling the Star Wars universe in the worst ways possible. We saw what she did with the sequel trilogy movies, thoroughly through episodes 7 through 9, and a lot of problems that really rised with The Last Jedi's by Rian Johnson. And especially with, of course, what happened with Solo: A Star Wars Story's box office results and how that led to the cancellation of the Obi-Wan Kenobi trilogy. Keep in mind, this is all on Kathleen Kennedy, and pretty much she created a domino effect ever since 2015. And now Lucasfilm is of course, trying to do everything that they can to bring Star Wars back to its roots. That's why Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are trying to do everything in their power to really focus on good shows like Mando 3 and 4, and of course the Ahsoka series and other shows that are going to branch off of those shows as well. Now, with that being said, however, what's even all the more intriguing has a lot to do with what Disney executives are currently planning as we speak, and how it is now finally moving forward to bring in a brand new Lucasfilm president and replacing Kathleen Kennedy by 2023. We're going to get right into this because it has been a thing in the talks for a very long time now. We've been talking about this on and off, about what's been going on with that whole situation and why they couldn't break contract for 2022. So, with that being said, however, what's really exciting about all of this is that with Kathleen Kennedy now focused on her new Star Wars shows, such as Acolyte and Skeleton Crew, she has been having tons of issues with the Acolyte TV series for Disney+. However, it's noted that Disney currently already has a big plan to bring in a new Lucasfilm president and to fire Kathleen Kennedy entirely, prematurely before 2024. The plan by Disney CEO Bob Chapek and the Disney executives is that they are now fully planning for George Lucas to serve as the new Lucasfilm president, temporarily speaking, at the company by the middle of next year, as of course to handle the business end and the creative end over at Lucasfilm before Disney makes their decision on the permanent solution of who will actually replace Kathleen Kennedy. The list is still 3 candidates, one of which is Jon Favreau, to which Jon Favreau is having a tough time making that decision and accepting this offer that would go into effect by the very end of 2023. The other 2 candidates are said to be unknown, however are described to be big-time Hollywood producers that are Star Wars fans at heart. As of now, Disney can't break Kennedy's contract too early, as that would cost way too much money to do it so early on, and the plan is to break it sometime by 2023, as that would cost them far less to do it in 1 year before her contract was supposed to end. George Lucas is described to be very excited to take over Lucasfilm temporarily on a business level and a creative level to shape up the company before a permanent solution comes in. The Disney executives are moving forward now with this plan after Kennedy has been having an ongoing problem with shows out there like the Acolyte TV show that is costing them lots of revenue, with rewrites and shifting the date of filming for the Acolyte. Now, let me just pause here for a second, because before we move on to the more interesting stuff about this, is that we actually talked about this in 2021 and how this was supposed to happen a very long time ago. And the reason why that all went sour was because nobody really wanted to take over the role of being the Lucasfilm president to clean up the mess that Kathleen Kennedy left behind. So a lot of people had a lot of issues with that, and they were trying to figure out exactly what they could do to get somebody else in the meantime. So what they did was they gave Jon and Dave Filoni these big-time promotions, and they basically stripped away Kathleen Kennedy's creative power over all TV shows moving forward, except for the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew. That was to actually give, Disney some relief, to actually keep them afloat when it comes to future Star Wars material until she is going to be let go by 2023. Now, this big strategy to insert George Lucas on a permanent level obviously is not going to happen, but on a temporary level, yes. that is the overall game plan right now. This way they can actually have George come in. He knows the company very well. He knows how Star Wars works. You know, the whole hiring and firing process will work then, of getting new employees on board, and then really gearing towards the permanent solution. Now, do I believe that Jon Favreau would even think about taking the role as Lucasfilm president? To tell you guys the truth, I don't see how he could do it. I mean, he's working on a lot of TV shows, he's dedicated to that. Unless he can find a way to act as a director, writer, and producer at the same exact time while being a president of a company, I don't really see Jon Favreau becoming the president of Lucasfilm. That's just me. It seems a little unrealistic. I'm not quite sure if he would even do it, but, you know, time will tell, I guess. But those two other candidates seem very much more likely. They're currently unknown, but they are said to be big-time Hollywood producers, like I say, that are very much Star Wars fans, so at least that's good. Now, moving from that, alright, Kennedy is said to be very angry and frustrated over the big decision by Bob Chapek and the executives, and wants them to actually stop moving forward with this strategy. However, Disney is now being relentless and are going to make this happen for Lucasfilm, as they realize now that after the Kenobi series, even though Kennedy is no longer involved on a creative level, she is still involved on a business level, and they don't want to risk future marketing failures of other Star Wars shows out there that are in the pipeline right now, such as Mando 3. Now, of course, the other two candidates to become Lucasfilm president are said to be announced by next year. However, George Lucas is already set to be placed in on a temporary scale for 2023. This is also the main reason why both Favreau and Filoni got major promotions at Lucasfilm, and Kathleen lost her creative power by Disney. It's a slow process for 2022, however, Disney is getting ready to take action next year that is going to change the face of the Lucasfilm working environment. They are even looking at firing and hiring new employees to handle Star Wars moving ahead in order to make sure it thrives and survives the best that it can. So, about George Lucas, alright, the fact that they are going to bring him in on a temporary level, we talked about this last year, and how that went sour because of what ultimately happened with the permanent solutions. Nobody was really interested in taking over the role of Lucasfilm, permanently speaking, and now there is some interest building up, and now it's moving forward finally once again. So obviously, you know, I think that at the end of the day, this would only serve Disney in the best way possible, because, let's face it, Kathleen Kennedy has no idea what she's doing with marketing. She has no idea what she's doing with creating Star Wars shows, let alone, of course, the ones that she's running right now, the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew, both of which I believe are going to be abysmal at best, you know. I really don't see them being all that great. You know, you have the Acolyte, by the way, which is going to be all agenda driven. It's going to have all real world conflicts thrown into the show. And then you have Skeleton Crew, which, by the way, is Stranger Things in space. Doesn't sound appealing to me at all, and a lot of fans say the same exact thing to me as well. But you know what? Hey, I mean, who am I to judge, right? I mean, I haven't seen a shred of footage just yet, so I am still waiting to actually see a shred of footage of Skeleton Crew before I can really say that, but I think I'm pretty confident that I'm not going to really be on board with that show. The general idea is it's about teenagers pretty much lost in space trying to find their way across the galaxy. That's the overall plot. And it just seems very bland to me. It sounds very boring, and it's typical Kathleen Kennedy. But hey, you know, let me know what you guys have to say about this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.